Growing up in a deeply rural environment, the only way I was able to visit my friends and to experience the universe was on my bike. We spent every summer building jumps within an empty field, creating our own obstacles that would challenge our bravery and our abilities. My lifelong friendships were created in that field through challenging one another, picking each other up, knocking the dirt off the fallen soldier, and encouraging one another to get back on the bike and give it another shot. That empty pasture of grass taught me so much about humanity and myself. So when I turned 13, my parents scraped up enough money to buy me my first real BMX bike. I remember the hours I just stared at it. I gazed upon every weld of every tube, every bracket. I studied the geometry of the frame. I dreamed about how much faster I would be. It was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen, and it was mine. It was the tool that I would use to win races and be a champion. The following weekend, my parents took me to my first BMX race. I cannot put into words how excited I was. I was so sure that I would win that first race because, let's face it, I've been on my bike my whole life. I'd imagined returning home with a 6-foot trophy with my name carved into it, sitting in the back seat next to me. And, well, that's when I saw it. The BMX track. The track was freaking huge. The jumps were massive. The kids were practicing and they were fast. One kid wheelied the whole rhythm section. There were kids with multiple bikes. They had real sponsors from actual businesses. They even had pop-up tents with their names and numbers on them. As I sunk down into the back seat of my parents' car, my confidence quickly turned to fear. I immediately said to my dad, "Well, it looks like the racing has already started. We're just going to have to come back here earlier next week. We should probably just go home and save some money." My dad immediately replied with a chuckle, "Well, I'm glad to finally hear you're thinking about how much something cost," as he looked over and winked at my mom and then said, "They're just practicing. The racing doesn't start for another hour." And that's when I really started to learn how to ride a bicycle. It was many, many years before I actually won a race and was able to hold that 6-foot trophy. But the lessons that I learned on that track are frankly the thing that led to my success as an adult. Today, the BMX track in the town of Samoa is facing a major obstacle of its own. The track is next to an environmentally sensitive area. A portion of the track will need to be moved to meet the conditions indicated by the county. Now faced with that new environmental concern, we are asking for your help. Help us create those memories and friendships that will last through each one of these racers' lives. Please help us save this track.